Okay, you guys, I'm back with another video. Thank you guys for those of you who are here. Thank you for getting tipsy with me. So I'm not going to talk too long, so let's get this video started. Today we're going to talk about the introduction to Silhouette. Basically, we're just going to go over each of these tools and what are they used for. And I'm going to try to make this quick and as simple as possible. Okay, we're going to start up at the top. As everybody knows, everybody should be familiar with file. File is where you go when you want to open, save as, and print, blah, 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 stuff like that. This is your edit tool. Like your edit is basically if you have, and I'm just going to just draw, make an A just for everything. Your edit tool, you can either go up here to edit. As you can see, all these options wasn't here before I put this A there. So I'm going to delete it, and this is right here. See, a lot of it is grayed out, but you will have to start with something. So this is your edit tool. You could either go to edit up here, or you can right click and edit right here. That's what the edit tool for. And the view is your ruler, your guides, registration marks, and all stuff like that. Your panel is the same thing. Basically, all these options up here is just a first option to right clicking. Right clicking on anything, you're going to get the same thing, or you're going to get it over here on the right hand side. So the object, same thing, mirror, arrange, and all that. And so we're going to go over that once we get to this side. Help is when you if you use or manage your software, license key, and all that kind of stuff. Basic, simple. Help is help. So right here is your new drawing. When you drawing a new Mac. Right here is you want to open your folder. Basically, probably the same thing that's up here. Right here, you save, you print, and you want to cut, and basically stuff like this. And some of these options don't appear unless you have something on your Mac, and I'm going to show you guys that later on. See, once I clicked on this A, cut appeared, backspace, and if you hover over any of these things, it's going to give you a shortcut, either a shortcut or what it's for. This is the delete, your pane, zoom in, zoom out. This is the zoom in on a certain section. If I click that and I want to zoom in right here, I can zoom in right there. That's what that's for, and I can undo that. And basically that's what these options is for. So if I click off of this A lot of these options leave. A lot of these options don't come up unless you have something activated on this Mac. See how all those came up there? That's the only way it comes up there. So now on our left hand side, this is our pointer tool, which we always want to go back to our pointer tool. If something not right on your Mac, you want to go back to always go back to your pointer tool, and that's this tool right here. This is the lasso tool, kind of something like in Photoshop, but it's really not necessary. We're really not going to need it. I haven't, since they added it, actually they just added this to the program. Since they added it, I haven't used it not one time. This is your edit tool right here, which is going to only activate it unless you click on this activate anything that's on your Mac, but you have to double click on it. Not double click. Well, since this is a it's not going to work. It will have to be a shape in order for you to work these edit points. So let me show you. You will have to right click, make compound pack, and now you have your edit points. That's this thing right here. That's your edit points. So I'm going to undo that. This is right here is your line tool. If you want to draw a line, see it went crooked, to keep it straight, you got to hold down shift and keep it straight. This is your, if you want to make like a house, anything that's just squared away. The next one is if you want to make circles with that, if you want to make circles along with this squared away. So you will use this one. I always use this one because I have no, why would somebody want, I mean, I guess if you're making a box, you will use that one. But I normally use this one right here because normally everything comes in a circle unless it's a square. And you want to double click if you want to get out of it, or you can wait till it connect to make a full circle. This one is really not, we're not going to really use it. Just like a protector, I guess it's called, the thing we used to use in school. I don't even remember what it's called. So I'm gonna go back to my pointer tool. I'm gonna Control Alt and delete because we don't need all that. So this is our square tool, our drawing tool. As you can see, we have a square. I don't even know what this just like a square with round corners, a circle, and this cylinder. I mean polygon. That's this square. That's your basic square. On the next one, you have more other shapes you can draw out. You click on it, you draw a shape, make it as big as small as you want. You can click on any of these shapes. You can. It's gonna do the same thing. It's just shape tool. This is your drawing tool. In case you want to freehand draw. Really, we're really not going to use that. This is your, so I'm going to hit all. I can hit Control All, but I have to go back to my pointer tool. I can hit Control A to select all this. Control Z to undo. Or I can go up here and select all and delete. Control A is easier because, of course, you probably won't remember to go press that, so you Control A. This is your typing tool. As you can see, you can type whatever you want. That's your typing tool. This is your note tool. If you want to add a note to this section, that's where you put your note at. This is your eraser tool. It's your eraser tool, your knife tool, and let me show you what the knife tool does. Eraser tool, I can erase anything on that. Your knife tool is you're going to slice it in half. Make sure you hold down Shift, slice it in half. Wait, let me give y'all a good example of this knife tool. If I type A, if I type A. Now right now this is considered as two shapes because you see it's crossed over. I will have to combine those, and this. Once we get up here, we'll know. I'll tell you guys what the combine is. So now, the knife tool. If we go here, hold down Shift, run that across there, and it divided it in half. We're gonna undo. Delete that because I made it one shape. If I go to A, press on A again, and if I want to change the font, it's over here. Well, we'll get to that side once we finish this side. And this is the eyedropper. In case you want to, if you click on the eyedropper or press I, anything on this mat, it will take the shape of. Or say like if you have a color palette on here, you're gonna press the eyedropper tool, which will be, I will go over some more on this side. The eyedropper tool, where you take the color of this shape. I mean the color of any color. Just I'm quite sure everybody probably familiar with the eyedropper tool. So now, once anything that's activated, you have an extra menu on top up here. This is your fill color right here. You can color it with any color. This is your line color, black. This is the where you pick what style of line you want to add to here. You probably don't see it. Let me zoom in. You can see the ends. The ends is changing colors. That's because the line tool is on the outside. The shape tool, the color fill is in the middle. And let me get another font because this font is not really giving y'all what it's really doing. Okay, here we go. So line tool. Line tool. This is your whatever kind of lines you wanted, different kinds of line. This is your points. This is where you change the size of the line. the thickness. This is where you change the thickness of the line. What? Oh, this is our font. That's our font. Like I said, everything in Silhouette, it always gives you more than 2 options to do it. Like edit, I could go up here and edit it with, it's already gonna be up here. I could go up here and edit it. I could go click on it and options gonna appear right here to edit it, or I can right click and edit. So they always give you more than 1 option to edit. This is where you choose your color, the size of the font, the bold, if you want to bold, italicize, underline it. This is where you want to make it to the left, middle, line to the middle. This is where, if you have this shape right here, if you have, let me show. If you have 2 A's, I'm going to make 2 A's. And if I click on both of them, I could go up here and align them to the middle, or I can align them to the side, align it to the middle, align it up top. That's what this tool is for. This tool is to make your center go to the center page. If I click on it, it's going to go to the center page. Whatever size mat I have, it's going to always go to the center page if I click this tool. Now this tool, the next one, if I click on it, it's going to align these 2 together. Exactly the same thing as these. It's going to align these 2 together. Now this one, if I want to, I'm going to click on it. If I want to bring, this is going to be a group. Now it group both of them together, and this one is ungroup. Now it's 2 separate things. The next one is, got to click on both of them, is if you want to bring this A in front of this A. That's this one right here. This one is if you want to bring it to the back. This one, if you want to, let me show you. I'm going to make them 2 colors. Right. So if I click on this A, and I want to bring it to the back, see it went to the back. If I want to bring it to the front, it went to the front. And if you hover over it, it's going to let you know what it's going to do. Bring to the front, bring to the back, bring forward, bring backwards. And this one, if I want to merge both of them together. So if I click on both of them and click on this one, it's going to merge them together, make it one piece. So I'm going to undo. So now it's back to 2 pieces. I'm going to click on this one. The next one is your offset. If I click on this and I go to click on that, it's going to give me an offset. An offset is just an extra color. And I'm going to take this line color, this line off. I don't need no line. See this little fence right here? This is where you want, when you click on where you don't want no line. And this is the second option of the eyedropper. If I click on this eyedropper and I hit click on here, it's going to turn that line black. Versus if I click on this one, it's still the same thing. If I click on this eyedropper, click on here, it's going to turn it purple. Same thing. Like I said, every option have more than 1 option to do it. So that's the this the offset. This is when I want to duplicate it. So if I click this, it's going to make 2. So undo, Control Z to undo. If I click on this, I also can make a copy of it. If I hold down Alt and drag, it's going to make a copy. Also, I can go to right click, duplicate. Like I said, everything have more than 1 option to do it. Our main go-to thing, we always want to right click. So this probably will be your main menu to everything, right clicking versus going up here, edit. Well, if I click on this, edit, duplicate, all these options, you can do the same thing from here. You can do the same thing from here. You can do the same thing from over here, and you can do the same thing from over here. So that's why I like Silhouette. You have a lot of options to do a lot of things. More than 1 way to do it. So we're going to go over here. So we went over the options over here, and up here is our design. This is if your design space. So if you go to send and you want to get back to your design space, you go click on design, and that's what design for. So this is your store, the Silhouette America store, which is here. which they still have Black Friday sale. So we can log out that, so we don't need that right now. That's how you get to your store. And this is how you get to your library. This is all your designs in your library. You can search for a design, or you can search for a design on this left hand side. You can search for a design. I always do a search because I have so many files. I ain't got time to be looking through all these files. If I go back to design and get back to my canvas, you go click design. And this is your sim. This is where you're going to do the cutting at. So up here you got simple, line, fill, layers. You can cut by your simple layer. You can cut by your lines. If you want to just cut the lines, you could just select the fills. If you want to just cut your fills and not the lines, you could cut by your layers. So these up here is what you want to cut by. If you want to cut simple, which is I always have mine on simple, you could cut line, fill, layers. That's if you have more than one option on your Mac. So right here, if I click on, like if I want to, so we're going to go down to the next option. If I click on this 8, and I don't want this 8 to cut, but I want this 8 to cut. I'm going to go click on that 8, and I'm going to go to no cut, because I don't want this 8 to cut. But if I want to click this 8 to cut, I could go to no cut. But you have to click on each A, whatever which one you want to cut. But if you want both of them to cut, you can just leave this part alone. So this is where you want to cut edge, and this will be the option you use if you want to, say like if you're doing a print and cut, and you only want to cut the edge of that print and cut. This what the option you will click, cut edge. And over here you have your options of the media you're using. As you can see, you have all different kind of medias, and if you click on one, Silhouette is going to let you know how to set your blade up. So if I click on cardstock, okay, let's click on printable, because a lot of us use printable vinyl. Well, print and cut. Let's see that. So where is my printing? I think it is called, heat transfer. I think I normally use heat transfer printable vinyl. Yeah, so if I click on that, you're going to put your blade on one, and this option right here I always click on, because say like the blade is down. The blade is down in your machine. So it's going to cut. And it's not going to pick up the blade if you have a square. It's just going to keep on cutting. But if you have like a line through here or something, you want it to pick up on a blade. That's why I click this option to get an accurate cut. So that's you want to pick up your blade to pick up and go across to the next one. That's only if you have like maybe like a square, or maybe like a shape that's crossing each other. As you can see, the X, the triangle right here, it lets you know what this do. So the force is how deep you want your blade to cut, and the speed is how fast you want your blade to cut. This is how many passes it go over. You can either make it 1, 2 passes. Normally for chipboard it's 2 passes. And this is if you want to save your options, so you won't have to keep going back to put those same options. If you know you cut a lot of dark fabric, a lot of heat transfer dark fabric, you're gonna save these cutting options right here. And down here is where you choose your cameo. Now with business edition, we have the option to have more than one cameo. That's why you see these two right here, because I have 2 cameos connected to my computer. So you will click on which cameo you want to choose right here, and that's this right here. And you can test your paper. If you click on here, Silhouette is going to test. When you load your media, it's going to test the if you click this, it's going to test the media, and it's going to cut like maybe an inch, maybe like a 1/4 inch of the paper. Like it's going to put a square on the top of your media to let you know if it's cutting or not. And that's this printable options right here. So let's go back to design. And now let's go over our right side. So the right side over here is your paper. This is where you set up all your paper options, all your page setting. If you click on this, you're going to have your Cameo, portrait, blah, 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 common sense. You can read what it is. This is your cutting mat. If you don't want a cutting mat, so you pick what size cutting mat. As you can see, the options right there. And right here is you can put always going, mine stay on custom because I'm always customizing my size mat. So when you click on custom, you can enter whatever size mat, whatever size you want your paper to be. 36 by 36, it really don't matter. 36 by 36. And that's what size your canvas, your canvas is going to be. Right here. So you will enter those measurements right here. So, and this is your orientation, whether you want it landscape or portrait size. Let's bring this back to Cameo. 12 by 12. So this if you want a portrait size or landscape. That's this option right here. And that's this option if you want your mat to rotate. This option if you want to print, show the border print. If you want to, like, say, like, if you have your whatever it is you're working with right here, and you want to show your print border. This is the only, see where this little line at right here? This is where it's going to print at. So you want to keep your design inside this print area. And this is if you want to cut. It's going to show you where it's going to cut at and cut off at. So you want to keep your design inside this red area, cut area. But if you have your 12 by 12, you won't have to worry about putting on your print board or your show cut board. So all right, that's those options. So we got your next option over here. This is if you want to show your grid, show not grid, show grids, pretty common sense, snap to grid. That if you want it to snap in a certain area. I don't have all this stuff. And this is your ruler. Of course, you saw it come up here. This is your crosshair. That little crosshair, if you want to line something up in a certain spot, that's what you use that for. This is your tolerance of your snap thing. That's your tolerance of your snapping. So this is, which I really don't use these options, which you probably won't even use these options. But Silhouette do a good job of letting you know what it does. So this is our pick on our registration mark. If I turn it on, this is what you would use if you're doing print and cut. So most print and cut is, most of you probably do 8 by 5 by 11. So this mat will be 8 by 5 by 11. So you will make sure that your mat is 8 by 5. Whatever size print and cut you have, you want to make sure is that size right here. And this is your length of your line. So see if I see the lines getting thicker or they getting shorter. Sometimes it depends on what I'm cutting. I like it thinner so I can get more space or whatever, but sometimes I leave it thick, and it's the thickness of the line. The thickness of the line, I normally put the insert. The inset is basically an option that's giving you to give more room on this board. See, if I bring it in, it's going to go in. But I normally bring it all the way out so I can get the most of all the cut area that I need. And this is the restore your default. And basically, you probably won't use none of these options. It's your page setting. This is your pixel setting. Your pick scan, which I haven't used this pick scan. What you're basically doing is you're going to put your object on your pick scan mat, and you're going to take a picture of it, and you're going to load it into your pick scan. Load it into Silhouette. You're going to, so basically you're taking a picture of your object on the mat, and you're going to scan it on your printer. You're going to scan it on your printer and upload it into Silhouette, and that's how you get your print and cut using a pick scan. This is right here. This is your color tool. This is your color tool. This is your gradient tool, and this is your patterns. If you want to upload patterns, that's common sense. Basically, this is your line tool. These options right here are the same options that we have up here. You could either change the color up here, or you could change the color right here. So this is the fill color. This is your line color. This is your trace tool. So if I want to trace this, if I click on this trace, I'm gonna draw over here, and it's gonna trace this A out. And down here, you see the extra options came up. You could either trace the whole thing, you could trace the outer edge, or you could trace and detach. Trace and detach is normally for something where you bring it in with a white background behind it. It's gonna trace and detach detach the white background from this design, and that's what those options are for. This is your image effect options, which I really don't use a lot, but sometimes I use it. I mean, it's really basically common sense. You colorize. If you hover over it, it's gonna let you know what exactly what it's for, and that's this option right here. Now this A option is where you want to choose your font, and this font is not letting me choose my font because I made this an object. I mean a pack, convert the pack. But if I delete it and go over here to choose my A, again, it's going to give me the option to, now it's going to give me the option to choose another font. And that's what this A right here is when you want to make your letters. This A right here is when you want to edit your letters, like choose a font. This A right here is a font correction. Like if I double click on this, I could basically make this A go anywhere. I can make this A. I can edit the A. Put it like that. That's what that's for. And this one is the second options, and the same thing that's up here. We went over that already. This is just the second option. If you want to size it, put it in the middle, that's that. This you want to size the font. If you want to rotate the font, if you want to distance, this the same options that you got up here. Like I said, Silhouette allow you to edit your design more than one way. This right here, if you want to rotate, double it, mirror your options. I mean mirror your design. That's this right here. Of course, you can still right click and mirror your design. The same thing. Flip horizontal, all that kind of stuff. But if you flip it back, so right here it allows you to mirror your below. But if you click on Control down arrow, it do the same thing. Click Control up arrow, the same thing. Control right arrow, same thing. Control left arrow, it does the same thing. So this option right here is the merge, well, subtract, divide. If you basically click on each one, it'll let you know what it does. So if I click a type of A, and those are the same options that I showed you guys that's up top up here. This is the same options. Right here is the offset, the option, the same option right here. If you want to offset it, if you want to offset, basically it's putting another color behind this color. It's an offset. It's an additional color. So these options, I really don't use none of these extra options down here. This is for your rhinestones, your striplings, stuff like all these options right here is if you want to do like embossing and stuff like that, stripping. This for you see that's embossed. This is for your puzzle. This is for your nesting. Say nesting is like, say like you have a lot of things on your mat. If you click all, if you gonna control all, everything on your mat, and you click the nesting, it's gonna align everything on your mat so you can get as less space as possible on your mat. And that's the nesting. This is like different kind of sketching tools if you want to sketch and etch and all that kind of stuff. this your rhinestone option. This is for if you want to warp your design, like if you're making a cup, that's this option down here. Let's click warp. That's when you want to like if you're making your tumblers, that's this option right here. So basically, if I draw a square and I want to warp it, I'm going to go to the second option right here. I'm going to click on warp. See how I just warped? And you're going to put those, you're going to measure your cup and put those dimensions in this one right here. This basically the first three options. That's what these this tool is for. These three tools. And this one, if you want your weed line, say like if you have a lot of designs on your mat, and we all know weeding can be a headache. So this will give you automatic weed lines. You see how I had those blue lines came up? That will give you automatic weed lines, and that way you won't have to weed this whole thing, risk cutting off, pulling the A off, pulling some of your A off of here. It's just going to weed that part right there, then it's going to weed that part, then it's going to weed that part and weed that part, and so forth. And that's what the weed lines is, just basically automatic weeding it for you. Well, not weeding it for you, but giving you cut lines. And this is your settings for as if you want to change. You could just go over all that. We really not going to go over that because it's basic, default, import, blah blah blah. Same thing we can do up there, and that's what those options. So that is a basically a full view of the intro to Silhouette. I hope I helped someone for as all the tools and options, because it's a lot of really repetition on this program where you basically editing. You have more than one option to edit your design. So once you get to playing in your design, it's really a go from there. You just be going. You really don't just automatically choose these options. So I'm not going to talk no more. I'm going to get it out of y'all hair, because I have already tried to make this video simple as possible. So thank you guys for coming to get it tipsy on this Silhouette, intro to Silhouette. Thank you guys. Thank you for listening. If you made it this far, and I hope it helped somebody.